it didn't matter. I went to Metro and the guy next to me went to Stanford. I mean, we're both in the same preseason playing for the same club after the fact, so it's just different paths.
The men's soccer program has quite the history of offensive playmakers, from the career point leader in Philip Owen, to the high IQ skills of Mark Hirschberger, to the smooth stylings of Jaime Gutierrez. There has never been a shortage of players who could attack and who could score. One of those players was a midfielder from Fort Collins, and his name was Steven Emory. Emory racked up the accomplishments in his time in downtown Denver. He was the program's first-team All-American. He earned a spot on the Colorado Rapids, and he was inducted into the Roadrunners Athletics Hall of Fame. But how did he get there? Emory played his high school soccer in Fort Collins and was a high-level recruit, but his recruiting process may have been a bit too complicated for those colleges pursuing his talents.
Yeah, the recruiting process was interesting for me because I was, young for my grade, but then older for my playing class. So I was 89, 90. So I was on the older side for my club career.
He kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit, which was great for us. But he was certainly, we knew he was talented.
Spread them together, spread them together, left shoulder.
Head coach Ken Parsons played a huge role in getting Emory to come to Metro State. Coach Parsons promised playing time, but it may have been the comfort level Emory had with the often enigmatic coach that sealed the deal.
Ken and I had a really good relationship, and when I first met him with my dad in his office, we felt really comfortable, and getting a scholarship was big. And I looked at Metro, and maybe a lot of people wrote it off at the time, but coming out of high school or your club seasons, and you really want to continue your momentum and be able to play, and I thought it was a good opportunity to me to get a lot of playing time.
Playing time was available, but it was off the bench. The freshman came into the 2007 season with a team that was loaded with talent at his spot.
And I think I respected it more. I mean, I think I would have been a little more disheartened if you was sitting me and just been like, you're not experienced yet. But seeing the team that we had on the field and then being able to come in when allowed and contribute and play with those players, it was great.
You had Kellen Johnson, you had Ola, and you had Sean Elbaum and Phil Owen, you had all those guys, and it was just hard to get into the lineup. At that point, you would think a player of Steven's pedigree and what he accomplished as a Metro State player, you probably assume a guy had to be a 4-year starter, right? But gosh, he didn't even start his freshman year a lot of times.
Emory was no slouch in 2007, recording 5 goals and 5 assists in his first season. But it was a moment he had after an early season loss that may have solidified his confidence that he belonged amongst his talented teammates.
One of the games in Midwestern State, we were out there and, we ended up getting knocked out by them. But I had a really great game, and they took me aside and they were just like, Steven, you're going to go pro. Like, this is a game, one of many in your career, because I was so down about it. You put your blood, sweat, and tears into it, and they could see it on me. And, I think that kind of stuck with me. I was like, oh, I've never heard that. I've never heard that belief before.
The 6'2" midfielder carried his newfound courage throughout his collegiate career, but something changed for Emory before his breakout in his junior season.
Two-time RMAC Player of the Year, Steven Emory. And do you think I gave up when we were down 2-0 to the number 3 team in the nation? No, I didn't.
The game starts to slow down a little. You figure it out. You get in your groove. I think the team and Ken started to, put a lot more on my shoulders, and I started to, find my voice in the team and the rhythm in the RMAC and, college soccer in general. So once things start, and you see it in the NFL, when things start to slow down for a quarterback, it looks like they're moving a lot faster than maybe some other, or they're one step ahead. And that's what it felt like. It all started to click that season.
That 2009 campaign saw Emory lead the red and blue in goals, assists, points, and shots on goal. He was named the RMAC's Player of the Year, and that timing couldn't have been worse for a guy heading into the Lions' Den of Durango for the postseason tournament.
I think I found out when I was on the bus ride to Fort Lewis. We were on the bus, and I think it all came out. And then, of course, your teammates are just giving you crap, and you're big time, and then I get to Fort Lewis, and all their chanting is overrated. And then, you got to try and put up a point or score or something. But in it felt great and everything, but it wasn't a big deal, I think, until after the fact, and you can reminisce.
He only got better in his senior year, scoring 17 goals while adding 12 assists. And he was named first team All-American.
I think the teammates helped a lot. I was playing some of the best soccer, and the momentum I had in playing that best soccer at that part of my career was really what propelled me towards, the Rapids.
He was being looked at by professional scouts and was already playing for the Colorado Rapids Academy team. After an impressive preseason, Emory was signed to a professional contract.
I scored against Columbus Crew, and then I played against the LA Galaxy, scored and got an assist against LA, and then we were in preseason in Phoenix or in Scottsdale on that last day. They brought me in with Gary and the assistant coach Steve Guppy, and they sat me down and extended me that offer, and I was just like freaking out.
It was the moment of a lifetime for a kid who always wanted to play professional soccer, but he learned quickly that he had to prove himself to keep that spot he had just earned.
It was faster, bigger guys, because like you mentioned, I started to see success in the RMAC, and things started to slow down, and then I almost had to start over, because everybody is like that in the MLS.
A change in the coaching staff ended Emory's Rapids career, but not his professional one. He would be picked up by a team in Finland where he started and excelled.
So I would say being in that world of, doing what you love for a living was so weird, because I had friends leaving college and going to work for corporations, and I'm going to practice and playing, and then I'm, done for the day. And I was playing soccer for a living. It was such this weird world to be in, even though that's all I had been writing down, on everything. I want to be a professional soccer player. And so I think the realization that it happened was pretty profound, but then, it came and went so quickly.
Hernia surgery would soon end Emory's playing career, and it was a tough transition for a guy who thought only about soccer for most of his life.
When you live and breathe something for so long and it defines you and you've done it for your whole life, it just kind of is who you are almost. And then you don't feel like you could be good at anything else sometimes, or when you stop doing it, you're like, you feel like you just lost something of yourself.
Emory's life was changed by soccer. Now he's changing others' lives, working in the healthcare management field. It's been a decade since he's donned that Metro State jersey, but even today, he plays soccer in his dreams.
I'll actually kick myself awake and stuff still. Yeah, which is weird. You'll have random dreams, and, you'll just kind of daydream about, scenarios and games you had. And I think that's the thing I miss the most, the competitiveness and the battle. Even in the heat of the moment, you might hate other players, or it feels like you do, but there's really nothing in life that is that competitive physically, and so once you walk away from it, it's kind of that missing void that you always think about. To be able to play for a program and have fun and, get a scholarship, it meant a lot, but then to be recognized for the, all the work you did and the success you had, and all those fond memories, and then looking back and now I'm a part of their history, that's such a big thing and a huge honor for me.